a couple different reasons.
Hello and welcome to We the Village, produced by Ron Hall, and I am your host, Sharonda Allen. Today I am here with one of the most amazing men that I have ever met. And I don't say that all the time. Sir, introduce yourself. Tell everybody, tell my viewers your name, sir.
My name is Aula Maarufu Sumbry,
Yes,
and I'd like to say a little bit about my name.
please do.
Aula comes from the Fulani people. They live in northern Nigeria. Some of them were herdsmen and somewhat migratory. And it means better than I was. Maarufu is also Fulani, and it means well-informed. And by God's grace and mercy, my mother put me, who had a sixth grade education, put me on a scholarship mission the day before I began kindergarten. She wrote my name out, and she said, "Junior, this your name. Write your name."
Right.
And I'm like, Mama said, write my name. I got to write my name. So I looked at it. And even though I did not know alphabet, I did not have any kind of preschool. My mother had been teaching me since before I was 10 months because I have twin sisters that are just 10 months younger than me.
They're knee babies, as they say.
They're knee babies, and a nurse, she once told me, she said, "Oh, you're an Irish triplet." And I asked her, I said,
I'm glad you said
I said,
it.
"I'm African, what you mean?" You know, no, Irish triplet, you know, they did not believe in birth control, and they had the babies so close behind till many of them were less than a year old.
Year apart.
Apart, less than a year apart. And she told me, she gave me the responsibility before they were ever born. You have to take care of these babies. You have to look out for them. So I've been a big brother for a long, long time. And in my scholarship, I had to learn things so that they did not run into things. Because if something happened, and it was something that my mother felt I should have been able to protect them from if I was paying attention, there was a consequence.
Absolutely.
But that's okay, I love it. Because this is why I'm a big brother to my people.
Yes, you
and
are.
have been in this lane for 55 years. Sumbry
Yes.
is my ancestral family name. And by God's grace and mercy, and with the help of AfricanAncestry.com, I know that the 5 Sumbry brothers, now let me get the names. Ned, well, let me go. Mingo, Ned, Jake, Ted, and Johnson. They have been captured at the same time in Gabon,
Really?
or somewhere near Gabon. and ended up on a plantation in Seal, Alabama. And the family that had purchased them was a white family, the Sumbry family, S-U-M-B-I. So we don't know their African names, but we refer to them as the Sumbry brothers. When slavery ended, so-called ended.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna say so-called.
So-called.
Okay. In 1865, Mingo, who used to bury the Africans on the plantation and in neighboring plantations in that Seal, Alabama area, he was able to make money.
Wow.
A little bit of money,
As an undertaker.
Well, more than an undertaker.
Okay.
He was a spiritual man.
Oh, he was
He
doing
was a spiritual
rites,
man.
last rites.
He was doing African spiritual things that was soothing to the African people there.
Right.
And not only did he bury them on his plantation, the plantation that
belonged to.
they were on, but neighboring plantations, and he was able to make money and put to the side, just like many other Africans we have heard who were cobblers and carpenters and even
Coopers.
horse breakers, coopers, various things were able to do. Well, he was able to do.
Metallurgists.
That's right. That's right. You know, coming up with some inventions in the course of that
Oh,
too.
yes. Oh, definitely.
Plenty of them.
Where
Okay.
invention, what is necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes, it is. Necessity is the mother of invention. And he was able to get some money, make some money. So when slavery ended, the first decision they made is we are not going to keep that man's name.
Okay.
So they changed the name from Sumbry, S-U-M-B-I, to Sumbry,
Okay.
S-U-M-B-R-Y. And they went down Seal Road about 10 or 15 miles and stopped in Phoenix City, Alabama. And there in Phoenix City, Alabama, they purchased some land and called it the Sumbry Quarters. To this day, it still exists, and family members still own it. And they also established the Sumbry Mortuary.
Wow.
To this day, my family still owns that.
Okay.
Just last year, 2018, my cousin Pee Wee Sumbry, Arthur Sumbry, was elected to his 4th or 5th term as the Russell County coroner. His father had served as the Russell County, Alabama coroner for 4 or 5 terms. The Sumbrys do not play.
I understand. Yes.
We have always understood from the very beginning that though we may have been captured and brought here, we did not have to become what they tried to make us to be.
That's right.
So as time went on and the civil rights movement developed, some of the very first black elected officials in Phoenix City, Alabama, were Sumbrys. I remember my cousin Jesse Sumbry, who's a millionaire. He's also a pastor over in Brooklyn. I forget the name of his church, but shout out to my cousin Jesse. Jesse Sumbry, he told me the history of the Sumbry family. And all my life, I'm born and raised in Trenton, New Jersey, raised up on Airport Road in Hightstown, East Windsor, and spent much of my teenage and early adult life, and then into my adulthood and seniorhood in Trenton. We know that we had something to do
Yes.
that we would call for a reason.
Yes.
And so when it came time, Jesse was telling me, he said, look, when they was going to segregate the pool, said Arthur, I think it was Arthur Sr., Arthur Sr., he said, come on, we going down to the pool. They either going to build us a brand new pool or we're going to take this over. And they went down there to get in the pool. And they got a brand new pool built for them.
Beautiful.
Okay?
And there's so many awful stories about us in swimming pools.
Look,
we tried to integrate pools. They poured acid in the
They
pool.
pour bleach in there.
Too much bleach,
and
not
whatnot.
even the right amount. Yeah.
And see, the thing about it is, my father did not talk a lot about Alabama. My mama talked about it. My mama was actually born on Cats Island. That's one of the Bahamian islands.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, I'm going to name a person who was born there. You'll recognize him immediately. Sidney Poitier.
Really?
was
That's
born
right.
on
He's
Cats Island.
Bahamian.
That's right.
Right,
And
yes.
my mother was born on Cats Island, and her father was born on Nassau.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
My mother actually, when I was in about the 4th or 5th grade, in the National Geographic magazine, they had a map. They was talking about it in school. Talking about archipelagos.
Yes.
And they're talking about the Bahamian archipelago.
Yes.
And I'm looking through there, I'm looking with my little finger, and I found Cats Island. And I came home, I told my mom. My mom thought she was born in Florida, the Florida Keys, okay? Because, see, back then, as long as you worked for the white man, ain't nobody asked you about, you wasn't no passports or nothing like that. Whatever white man you work for, that's who you work for. And if you was living on one of the Bahamian Islands or or one of the Florida Keys, in that Belgrade, Florida, my mom called it the muck. That's what they call it, the muck. The muck was like the Wild Wild West.
Oh, really?
My mama told me that as a child, she saw a man shoot another man, sit on him, finish his hand that he was playing in cards, and get up and walk away. Her aunt, her mother, they were female crew bosses for migrant laborers. And if you want a scholastic reference, I'd say just read The Warmth of Other Suns.
Right. I know about that book.
Okay? And you will understand some of the inside of being a migrant laborer, a black migrant laborer coming up the East Coast, picking things as they're ready, planting things, and so on and so forth.
Seasonally and everything, right?
That's what we used to call them up here. See, I'm born in Jersey, so we thought we was a little better than them. Okay? We called they seasoners, Florida hops, Belgrade, Florida, the muck. Okay? They would come up here and they would work. My father owned the grocery store. Well, he got discharged from the military and at the end of World War II.
So he fought in World War II.
He fought in World War II. His brother, him and his brother, but before that, my father was 13 and his brother was 14, Uncle L.C. Either my father was 14, one way or the other. They were 14 to 13. They hoboed, they hitchhiked from Alabama as a 13 and a 14-year-old up here to work on the farms, to work on railroads. Do you know the first fatal railroad accident in America happened in Hightstown, New Jersey, exit 8 on the turnpike in 1830 or 31.
Really? I didn't know
Yes.
that. Okay.
Yes.
I know
But
about the streetcar thing Frida Kahlo got messed up on, but go ahead.
But that was
wasn't in the United States.
That was the first fatal railroad accident, and they came up here and they They worked on the railroads. My Uncle L.C. ended up becoming a sleeping car porter and retired.
A Pullman porter.
A Pullman porter.
Oh, that history is amazing. One of my grandmothers, who's 97, her uncle, my Uncle Euless, was a Pullman porter.
That sounds like Alabama.
Oh, well, they were from North Carolina.
Okay.
Uncle Euless, or Ulysses Jones, he was a Pullman porter on the Erie-Lackawanna line.
All right.
And he was so classy. And that's why I said there's a story, there's such a history, a rich history to that, because those men were well-traveled. And they made so much money, and they were so classy and just well-dressed and all that. So go ahead. I just wanted to put that, because that's a good
Yeah,
history.
My Uncle L.C.'s son, L.C., he's retired from the FBI.
Wow,
He
okay.
worked at the FBI more than 30 years, retired from the FBI.
That's something.
But they came up here, and then, couldn't you imagine a 13 and a 14-year-old on their own? And there's a history of boxcar driving. Matter of fact, unfortunately, the Scottsboro case.
That's what that was about. They were hitchhiking all around the country.
Just like my father and his brother were doing.
Trying to find better opportunities.
Trying to find better, and got set up by what they call a Betty, the one that's calling. They look at them, they over there now barbecuing in the barbecue area. Barbecue Becky, right? But see, this one here was deadly. They had some that was deadly.
I don't mean to laugh, but you said it called on the phone. That's right.
That's right. and see, my father was a part of that history. Okay, of that, because
jumping those boxcars.
Okay, he was born in 1916. Count 14. This is the middle of the Depression.
Definitely.
Depression.
Yeah.
And for the white folks out west, the Grapes of Wrath, the Dust Bowl. Okay,
yes, Dust Bowl,
and all these type things. So, but anyway, so they came up here as young teenagers, as kids, and they made it away, and they made it back down.
Isn't that something?
They was in Florida when World War II broke out.
Wow.
And my father got drafted into the Army in Florida. My Uncle L.C., he settled in Avon Park, Florida, okay? And when my father was discharged in 45 from the Army, he got discharged at Fort Dix. And it was good for him, because when him and Uncle L.C. as 13 and 14-year-olds was doing all that traveling at the same time, they had their eyes out looking for land that they would purchase one day, because they did not come as kids thinking like kids. They came as kids thinking like stone-grown men.
I bet.
Okay? And my father did purchase land. In Hightstown, because he saw that was a good area, East Windsor. He saw that was a good area, and he established the Sumbry Grocery on Airport Road. And his main business was migrant laborers coming up on the season. This is how I got interested in cultural anthropology and in political science and history. Because as I was growing up on Airport Road, we had Geechees coming up there.
Wow.
We had people from the West Indies. And I remember we had Portuguese, black Portuguese from Brazil. I remember this one man, he was a black Portuguese, he was black, but he had hair kind of like mixed hair, right? And all them root workers were scared to death of him. And when I say, for people who don't know, who may be listening, don't know what a root worker is, that is basically an African survival that come from West Africa. We know, people know Santeria and so on and so forth. With root workers,
Obia.
they was right at Obia. people, that the root workers was right along that line.
But see, if he was from Brazil, he was into candomblé.
Candomblé.
That's what they did. And
Candomblé.
That is part of that African
and Macumba.
tradition. Yep.
Okay.
Macumba, Umbanda from South America.
Yes.
Argentina and
but
Uruguay.
But I'm gonna tell you something that I wish. I'm gonna tell you what I witnessed.
Okay.
I got saved when I was 7 years old. They had in my mother's Pentecostal church what they call the tarrying bench.
Oh yeah.
You get down on that tarrying bench, and you just start saying Jesus, and you don't stop until the Spirit hits you. I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't faking it.
Oh, I believe you.
The Spirit hit me.
Because you still got it.
I still got it.
You still get on the phone and start praying for me. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we bring Sharonda before you, amen. She got the victory. I said,
look, I'm getting ready to bring Supreme into this now.
Okay.
And Supreme, that's what I call my oldest son.
Yes.
Aula Sumbry.
Yes.
Supreme, he became Okamfo for the Akan.
Right.
Of
Ghana.
Of Ghana. Okay, he also happens to be the first African American to be appointed an ambassadorship by an African country.
Wow.
Ghana appointed him as the ambassador of tourism. In fact, he was the one that facilitated the Ebony trip to Ghana. And just this past year, the Jamestown to Jamestown trip of the national NAACP. And I have to say this part here when I think about that. Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Yes.
Our Grand Bosselist, Dr. David Marion, was there. And not only did he go on the Jamestown trip, Jamestown, Virginia, 1619. There's a section of Accra, Ghana, that is the Jamestown section. So, Jamestown, Ghana. And some people don't know this. 75%. I sound like Trump now. Let me tell you that.
Some people don't know this. Let me tell you, a lot of people don't know this, that the sky is blue when it's not cloudy outside. Did you know that? I'm going to send somebody to the sun, but we're going to send them when it's not daylight.
Let me tell you this. It's a researchable fact.
Right. Thank you.
That 75% of the Africans who were a part of the Middle Passage came through Ghana.
Right, the door of no return, Gorée.
They had that, the various castles, but 75% of the castles that were used that had doors of no return were in Ghana.
That's right.
So even though 75% of the Africans who were transported were not from Ghana, they came through Ghana.
And that's what I teach my young people as well. We always think about West Africa, that Ghana, Gorée Island, door of no return, Elmina. But we also got to look at the people that came from the southwestern part of Africa, like Angola.
That's right.
The warrior queen, like Nzinga.
Nzinga.
She went and she used Portuguese weapons to capture other Africans and bring them to the coast.
The Portuguese was the first.
They were.
But
and
let me get back to my son, the Okamfo.
Yes, because we got 5 minutes left.
We only got 5 minutes?
Yes.
You lying.
I'm not.
I'm coming back, homie.
Yes, you are, homie.
You know what I told you in that New Jersey Association of Black Educators
meeting?
Yes,
sir.
I am coming back.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because we're gonna finish it. But let me tell you about the Okome.
Yes.
The Okome is the religious service.
Yes.
That the Akan people have.
Yes.
When I saw my son, he's in Washington, D.C., born in Trenton, and since he was a young teenager, has been in D.C. Me and his mother were co-founders with friends of the African People's Action School in Trenton.
Yes.
I am one of the original 3 that co-founded the revolutionary organization, the African People's Action Movement in Trenton. During his Okamfo, doing his okom
Okay.
in his coming
For
out
the
ceremony
Okomfo. Yes.
as a okomfo, as a priest, a con priest. That service looked just like my mama's Pentecostal
Of
church.
course it is.
It looked
when you
exactly
tarrying, you
like it.
bringing Obi on the ground. Tarrying is the same as bringing down Obi. When you
Yes.
get the Holy Ghost, it's the same as that getting that same spirit getting
Right.
in you.
Now I'm coming back. Okay, we made that clear, but I got
Yes.
some things I want to say. First of all, let me tell y'all, the New Jersey Association of Black Educators, we're gonna make it do what it do in 2020.
Absolutely.
Okay, we in New Jersey are attacking social promotion. We've been robbed. We've been took. We've been bamboozled. They graduating our kids, giving them a high school diploma, knowing good and well they can't read on the 4th and 5th grade level. We're going to end that this year. That's one of our focuses. And we will have a press release that will be coming out, and we'll have a program that's going to take place at Homedale. What was that there in Monmouth County? Well, anyway.
I can't remember.
Well,
Right now.
okay, I forget the site and location, but remember, New Jersey Association of Black Educators. The other point to remember is a new law was passed on December 9th regarding the Amistad Act. On January the 26th, from 2 to 4:30, at 1194 Parkway Avenue in Ewing Township, New Jersey. Come through the rear parking lot entrance. Dr. Stephanie Harris is going to be there to give a presentation on what the new law involves. And we intend to, beginning with Mercer County, the Mercer County Coalition in support of Amistad Act compliance, to make Mercer County, there are 11 municipalities. We've already been successful in getting the Trenton Board of Education to agree to come into full compliance.
Right.
We're going to get the other 10 school districts in Mercer County, and we're looking to see the same thing be repeated in every county in New Jersey. And our dear sister is one of the lead members on our team. Because for those who have watched any type of...
Which dear sister you talking about?
I'm talking this dear sister right here named Sharonda.
Wait, Cameron, too, you talking about me, Sharonda Allen? That's the dear sister. I'm the lead. What? Our dear sister, Sharonda Allen, is the lead for what with this now?
That's right. She is, when we need that water buffalo attack, like the lionesses do, they're going to grab them, and they're going to get the biting on them.
And you know what? I'm grateful to be a part of that. We're going to have a part 2. We need to have part 2.
For sure.
So I want to thank everybody for welcoming Mr. Aula.
No. What I tell you about that?
I'm sorry, sir. So we're going to have to do a part 2. Brother Aula. We're going to have a part 2. Thank you for tuning in to We the Village.